Hello everyone, my name is Dmitry and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about the learning programming. After my last video about how I travel the world with programming skills and work remotely, I had a few questions about how to learn programming from scratch. So let's talk about this. First of all, this video is going to be for newcomers, like when you're thinking about learning programming or you already started but you don't have enough experience. It's going to be like not so technical video. There's won't be much technical details, but like a general thing, how to learn, where to start, etc. This video is going to be quite long, so just grab a cup of coffee or tea, whatever you're drinking, and yeah, just relax. So let's start with the questions, or kind of like misleading things that a lot of newbies in programming think. I've seen a lot of questions on the internet about this. Let me try to answer them. First of all, age. Yeah, this is a lot of questions on the internet. Am I too old to become a programmer? Am I too old to learn code? The answer is no, you're never too old to learn code. I learned how to code in 28 or 29 and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty confident in my skills and yeah, I'm working, don't have any problems. But it's actually nothing compared to other people who learn programming at their 40s or even 50s. Yeah, I really know a lot of stories how people learn programming at 50s. Next question is university. Do you need to go to university? Do you need to have a computer science or computer engineering degree? In my opinion, no, you don't. You don't need any degree at all to learn how to code. There is a lot of self-taught programmers and a lot of really good self-taught programmers. So you're gonna be fine just following the courses or whatever information you found on the internet. So you don't need to go to university and spend money on college degree, because universities they could be useful if you wanna to upgrade your fundamental skills like math or science or physics or electrical engineering, that kind of stuff. Yeah, these skills also could be learned by their own, but universities are usually famous for learning the basics, learning fundamentals. Also, university great for meeting people, going to do a lot of collaborations, that kind of stuff, so social aspect. But if you want to go to university just to learn how to code, it doesn't require it. You're gonna be fine just by self-learning. Another question I found a lot on internet, paid courses versus free courses. So you can find a lot of courses that you need to pay money for. Sometimes they're pretty expensive, sometimes not so much, but you also can find a lot of free information. And people sometimes think that paid information is better, but it's not true at all. In my opinion, all the free information is basically the same as the paid information on the internet. You can find basically anything on YouTube nowadays, or as a free blog post, so as a free courses. So you're gonna be fine if you're gonna using only free information, but paid courses are great for accountability, because well, you're not gonna be lazy if you already paid money for the information. You're probably gonna be learning, and especially if you're like me, pretty lazy person, and it's hard to force yourself to learn something, maybe in these terms paid courses could help, paid lessons or anything you can find. But other than that, I don't see any reasons not to use free ones. Now let's talk a little bit about the areas where you can apply your coding skills. It's quite important because in the beginning you're going to be overwhelmed with amount of information in different areas and different programming languages, etc. So it's better to stick with one at least area you can choose for your development, for working later, etc. So first area, which is quite popular, is server backend programming. It could be related to web development, but not necessary. Backend programming could be used in a lot of different areas, so this is one specialty you can choose. Another one is the front-end programming. Front-end programming usually more often related to web programming. It's usually designing and programming UX interfaces which users interact with on the web page, for example. Another area is game development. I picked it separately because game development, especially the game scripting and doing stuff for game to work, is usually a little bit different, using a little bit different technologies, and you need different knowledge for that. Another popular area is mobile apps programming. It's also a little bit separated from other fields. It's great to pick one area and try to stick with it, at least in the beginning, when you're just learning. And you should consider that, for example, server-side programming, backend programming could be used not only for web but also for game development, not when you're scripting the game events, but for manipulating game data, for example, it could be used with backend programming server-side. Also for mobile apps, when mobile app doing some requests to server-side and get some data, and server-side could manipulate with data. So yeah, it could be used anywhere. So backend is a little bit vague term, but you should know that it's usually code that run on server. Another thing I would point it out for yourself when you start learning is why you're learning programming in the first place. So what's the reasons? It could be, for example, to landing a job. For example, you know that some companies who hiring programmers and you want to work in this company. Well, let's be honest, the salaries are pretty good in software development. So, for example, you want more money and you want to change your current profession. So it's a great goal, but keep it in mind. So, for example, when you learning programming for a job, you probably should explore this a little bit more. For example, what's companies hiring in your city, or what companies hiring remotely if you want to work remotely, for example, and what are requirements. You only need to write all this down and use it for your goals. Another reason is remote work, for example. Not like remote work for a company, but freelance, for example, or part-time job. For example, you want to travel like me and work remotely. In this case, you better go to some freelance platform and check, like Upwork, for example, and check what task they having. And when you're going to be learning, you're going to be keeping this in mind and trying to explore as much things as possible, because freelance usually quite a wide area. Another great reason could be starting a company. For example, you want to build a startup. In this case, you probably won't be needing much technical skills like deep knowledge, but you're probably going to be needing more wide range of skills, like, for example, how to fast prototyping or how to launch your product as fast as possible. And you're going to be using it while you're learning. There are many reasons to learn how to code. For example, another reason, immigration. In that case, you probably have in mind what country you want to immigrate, so just go to the LinkedIn, check this country, job boards, and check whatever skills they need in this city or country for you to immigrate, or check the immigration program. Probably they have some professions list what they prefer to relocate. When you write everything down, you already have some more narrowed focus, so you already know what skills you want to bring to the table, for example, for your future company, or you want to know more wide range of skills, and it will help you to learn more focused purposely, so you're going to be reaching your goal much faster than just learning in general. Like, for example, people sometimes learn languages just for fun, and it doesn't work for many people, really. Usually people just drop out after a few months because you don't have any purpose to learning, you don't have any real reason to use these skills. So let's keep in mind this while you're learning programming as well. Now let's start with the resources. Which resources I recommend for learning programming? This website actually has many areas, but main purpose of that, learn web development. So it's freecodecamp.org. It's absolutely amazing website. It's kind of like open sourced. It was built with the help of a community, and it has so many great courses. They even give you a certificate after ending each module, and it has great information, and it has project-based learning, which I always recommend to everyone. You should definitely try this website out. I think it's one of the best resources on the web right now for learning to code, and it's totally free. That's very important. There are a few more websites which is pretty popular for learning to code. Is Code Academy, and also Udacity have many courses. Also Coursera has more like fundamental courses. For example, they have a great course on Python. Pluralsight is pretty popular. Some of them are paid, some of them are free, but I would definitely recommend to start from a FreeCodeCamp. Another great course I would recommend is CS50 by Stanford University. It's one of the best fundamental course about coding and computer science in general. It's a first year course of Stanford, and it's great as an introduction in computer science and how computers work, how algorithms works, etc. If you prefer books as a fundamental thing, I would recommend the book Code. Yeah, I think it's called Code. I will put all the links below in the description, so you won't need to remember this. It's a great book. It tells you the story how from simple light bulb you can create a computer, and you're doing this with the author kind of while reading. Yeah, it's really great for fundamental skills. Another very great resource is hacker.io. It's kind of like aggregator of web courses, and you can just search a technology or programming language, and it will show you the most popular courses which people are vote for. So you usually will pick the best course on the technology possible, and it's a great resource for inspiration and trying different courses. Another, of course, my favorite, YouTube. It's a great source of many videos about software development. It's not that great compared to, well, pre-populated lessons, because it's not as good structured. But if you usually search something on YouTube and you like the video, just go on the author page and check the playlists. They usually kind of collect the similar topics into playlists. Usually all the YouTubers do this. I think that's more than enough for beginning. I'm also thinking about creating a course about Ruby and Ruby on Rails framework. So if you're interested in that course, just let me know in the comments. Maybe I will create the course for you. I'm still not sure about this idea, so let me know. A few pieces of advice how to learn things, how to learn coding. First of all, I would say do not stuck on watching videos or reading something. So you have to practice. Programming is kind of like practice-driven skill, and the more you practice, the better you be in it. And if you're watching YouTube video, for example, just try to write code inside your editor with author, or try to experiment, like when after show you some things, some features in the language, you just try to change something, change some config and see what happens. Don't worry to experiment, don't worry to break things, well, as long as you're just trying on your computer, not in the production server or in your company. But yeah, it's great to experiment and it's fun. So yeah, do this. And also do not stuck on picking programming languages. I know a lot of people asking questions on the internet like, what's the programming language to learn first? What's the most like paid programming language in this year? And every year these videos and articles are popping up, and a lot of people are just following them. I also have actually the video about this. So if you want to see my approach to this question, just check the link in the below. In this video about top 5 programming languages, I think in this year. But yeah, don't really stuck on this. Whatever you pick is gonna be great for you. If you want, you're gonna change the language later. Usually programmers are changing technologies during their career several times, and it's totally fine. And it's easier every time, of course. Just pick whatever most popular. Like if you're doing backend, just pick Python, Ruby, JavaScript, Node.js, whatever you like, PHP. And if you're doing front-end job, it's usually just JavaScript. You don't have much choice there. So yeah, just pick whatever popular, and it's gonna be fine for learning. Of course, if it's not like very specific and very weird languages like MATLAB or something like this, yeah, just pick the popular ones and you're gonna be fine. As I said already, don't stuck on the videos, but I also want to add the try to create the projects like by yourself. You learn something, you apply this to your pet project. You can just Google like ideas for pet project for language or ideas for pet project for programming, whatever, and you're gonna find hundreds of lists where people just share their ideas what you can build for each different skill sets for beginners, middle engineers, etc. So yeah, it's very important to apply these skills on the practice. Another thing I should warn you, you're probably gonna be frustrated half of the time. Well, maybe not half, everyone has different background and skill set, but it's gonna be frustrating from time to time. So be ready for this, and if you're stuck, don't think you're bad at it. Don't think you don't have enough intelligence to be a programmer. It's pretty stupid. Even very experienced programmers stuck from time to time. Just go for a walk, meditate, do yoga, physical activities, whatever you want, and come back to this. And if you're still stuck, try to change learning resource, or try to change project, or try to change technology you're using or approach. Don't really think it's gonna be like smooth process. Programming is quite hard sometimes, and it's quite frustrating many times you're doing it. So be ready for this. I would also suggest to learn related technologies or related skills. That's where all these goals or your reasons why you're learning are gonna be helpful. Because, for example, if you wanna land a job, if you wanna get good at interviewing, you have to train algorithms, for example. You also have to learn soft skills, so you know how to kind of sell yourself on the interview. You have to learn how to write your CV, that kind of stuff. If you want to be a freelancer, you need even more selling and soft skills, because you have to sell yourself to future client. Also, good idea to learn related technologies to your area. Like if you're doing server-side programming, just learn how to database works, how to computers and servers works in general, how Linux works, and run your code. Also, almost all programmers have to use Git. It's basically a standard in the version control system, which is kind of save you from losing all your changes in your code. So definitely check this out. It's not as simple as it sounds. And also you probably need to pick text editor and try to play around the settings a little bit. I would recommend to use VS Code, which is one of the most popular text editor for coding. And it has a lot of plugins and extensions which help a lot in during the code writing. If you're picking front-end programming, for example, try to learn a little bit about design, how UX, UI, patterns, good, bad, etc. Also, maybe you need to know how to HTTP and networking work, so how the data are going through our wires on the internet. There's a lot of great skills you can learn, which is related to different areas. I will link a great website which is roadmap.sh, which is really helpful. So there's like 3 areas: backend, frontend, and DevOps, which is not really a programming, but still. And they have a huge tree, what kind of technologies you need to learn at which step. It's really helpful. And my last advice for learning: just have fun. If you're feeling frustrated and really angry and anxious, just stop doing this, take a break, or maybe change the learning resource. You have to have fun. Programming could be quite frustrating, but it also could be really rewarding. For example, when you solve some long-time problem, it's going to be like, Eureka, I understand something. It's really great feeling. So don't forget to have fun. And my last piece of advice is find a community. As I already said before, it could be a really frustrating process to learn how to code, and community could help. For example, if you're stuck to some problem, you can ask questions. And for example, if you just want some encouragement, you can also go to your community and, well, maybe ask for that. I would recommend dev.to. It's a really great website. They have a kind of blog posting platform, but there's a lot of people discussing in the comments and asking questions. Another great place is Free Code Camp. forum. They have a forum and there's a lot of discussion about different topics. It's a pretty good place as well. Another great place for programming is Twitter. Yeah, I don't mind, it's a social media, but there's so many programmers there. Just start following great programmers in your area. Start reading and learning from them, and maybe go into discussions and start tweeting about your learning process as well. By the way, check the 100 Days of Code challenge on Twitter. I will link also in the description. It's a great way to stay accountable without paying courses. And also, last thing I just remembered, if you want to land a job or start freelancing or start your business and you need programming skills for that, try to do this as fast as possible. Don't stuck in the learning loop, because you can learn like long time. I know people who learn coding for a couple of years and they still learning, and it's a bad idea. Probably you need 3 to 4 months everyday learning, and you're good to go. After that, you have to go to the interviews, you have to start picking a small project on freelance, or you want to start your business, start your project. Don't worry if you feel not ready. It's usually normal. Imposter syndrome is really common among programmers, so you're going to be feeling this as well. Just try it. Just take a leap of faith and just go on the interview, take some tasks. Yeah, just try it. So that's probably it, what I wanted to say. Sorry the video was so long. I hope you will find this useful. Give me a like if you really like this type of videos, or let me know what you wanna learn more about the programming area. Maybe you want a more like technical video about this, what skills you would learn, more detailed. Yeah, just let me know. Don't forget to subscribe and smash the like button, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.